Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I'm here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Happy Monday, Powerful Leaders. I hope you had an amazing weekend. So today is a special episode where I'm just going to be riffing about something that's on my heart, something that's been on my mind. And I'm like, I just gonna go record this episode and just share what's on my heart. I've been feeling a little bit sick since last week. I slept, I think, 12 hours the night before. And yeah, I just starting to feel a bit better. So please bear with me if I sound a little sick still. But yeah, you know that the most important thing is the quality of the message. And if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, this is exactly what I needed to hear, please drop me a message on Instagram. My DMs are always open. I would love to hear from you. But yeah, today I realized something that, sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves and we beat ourselves up when we're not where we want to be or where we think we should be. And I've had conversations with a lot of you who are also coaches, and sometimes we plan on doing a podcast episode together and something happens and that are outside of our control and we still beat ourselves up about it. So I wanted to share this message with you that just because something hasn't happened yet, it doesn't mean it won't ever happen, right? Just because, for example, you haven't signed your next premium one-on-one client with your new prices yet, it doesn't mean that it never will. Or just because you haven't filled out your first group program or hit your first 5K months or jumped on a podcast interview yet, it doesn't mean that it never will. So instead of trying to figure out why things have unfolded the way they have, or why it didn't work out the way you really wanted them to, or why it seems that the whole universe is conspiring against you, and why you always fall sick, or why something always happens, right? Because that's where our brain loves to go. It loves to go in the drama, in the negative. So instead of doing that, what if we looked at it instead as, oh my gosh, it is happening now. It is coming to me now. It is flowing to me at this moment. Clients are on their way to my inbox right now. Q4 is going to be the highest quarter ever. What if things work out just the way I thought they would in divine timing? What if we looked at that perspective instead? And that's what I found. This journey of entrepreneurship, it will test your faith more than you can ever anticipate. And you will experience detours and long waits and seasons of trials and errors and doubt and fatigue or even exhaustions. And sometimes we're like, why are we even doing this, right? It's like, raise your hand up if you've ever had these thoughts of why am I doing this to myself? And you just want to go back, settle, and forget about this whole entrepreneurship thing, right? We've all been there. But the most important thing is to be able to really hold it all, hold the space for all the duality. And that is what we refer to as emotional intelligence. You've probably heard this term by now 1,000,000 times, but it's so true. It's really about believing that those rough patches that we're going through are actually necessary for our growth and where we're going. and if you fully trusted that everything is always working out in your favor, and you dropped all the shoulds and what it should look like and what everyone ever told you it should look like, and you truly recentered and ask yourself, what would I do? Who would I be if I had faith that everything was working out? Because you got to remember too that your results, they come from who you are being and what you're believing in. So always make sure that you believe in empowering stories that serve you. And that, because when you feel empowered, when you believe those stories, you're actually also going to make empowering decisions. And when you have empowering decisions that are paired with that unshakable faith and that powerful energy and those bold moves, you will always attract mind-blowing opportunities. But you got to believe, right? So it's really that story that I wanted to share with you. So if you feel like there's those moments of doubts, it's totally normal. It's normal to doubt. It's normal to fear. But it's really about not letting that hold us back from going where we're meant to go. And it's also that trusting that those seasons where things feel wonky or slow or hard, it also serves a purpose. So it's really like looking at it with that bird's eye view and understanding that it's just a blip on the map and that we're right where we're meant to be. So I hope this makes sense. And I also wanted to share with you today that we are so close to hitting 10,000 downloads on this podcast. And my mind is just so blown. Like, my goal was to actually have, 8,000 by the end of this month, but we already hit it. And my bigger vision is to cross 10,000 downloads by November, just in time for the 2 years anniversary of the show. So if you've been listening from the beginning of this journey, if you have just started becoming a loyal listener, I wanted to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I also wanted to announce that if you share about the podcast on Instagram and you tag me in your stories, you can be entered to win my podcast from scratch mini course. So if you've always wanted to start your own podcast, my podcast from scratch mini course will help you get there. So this is really the one-stop shop to build your podcast from scratch so you can start to be seen, heard, and paid without confusion, without overwhelm, without trying to figure it out on your own. And you could win an entry to get in the course, which is an investment of $555. So if you share on your story, you tag me and you share one episode or what you'd love about the podcast, you're going to be entered to win this. And this is also part of the 2-year anniversary celebrations that I'm really excited. It's coming this November. And yeah, it would mean the world to me if you could share, tag me, spread the word, talk to your friends, your business besties about the show. And yeah, it would mean the world to me. And I really, really appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. And lastly, I have one spot left for private coaching for the last quarter of the year. So if you sign up before October 1st, this Saturday, you're going to be also getting a free full month of Voxer. So you can apply to work with me privately on the link in my bio on Instagram at anapatricia.coach. And this is for you if you're so ready to hit your first or next 5K plus month. We're going to sit down. I'm going to look at your current strategy, your mindset, what you're working on, what's working well, what's not working well. And we're going to readjust your strategy. And I'm going to be there for you every step of the way. It's such an amazing container to be in. So if you have any questions about that at all, feel free to DM me. I would love to answer any questions you might have. And yes, I am so excited to welcome you. And thank you so much again for listening to the show. I appreciate you so much. And I hope that, today's episode was valuable. It's a bit different than what I do usually. But yeah, let me know if you have also any questions you want me to talk or riff on the show. And yeah, it would be my pleasure to answer you as well. So this is it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.